What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Today's news is coming fastly and furiously, and I really appreciate everyone that's clicking that red subscribe button down below. Numbers are going up, and that means that you guys are all appreciating the work that I'm doing, and that means the world to me. It's hard enough to find my videos in search, so anyone who watches, I definitely need it. So, Twitter has now locked out their employees from the source code after messages of on Slack of them absolutely freaking out over the Elon Musk takeover. I just don't think that, I think that, like many things, like if somebody meets me in real life, they know the things that have been said about me, and they think that, you know, I'm a certain way or another, and it's just not that way. It's like, you don't really, you know, their expectations are likely far worse than what they really are. But now with the workers freaking out and the lockdown, now would be probably a great time to become a lord or lady. Check out this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. They allow people to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so they can call themselves a lord or a lady officially. In return, they commit to plant a tree with every order and protect the beautiful, pristine woodlands of Scotland. Established Titles makes an absolutely amazing gift, and a person could officially get their name changed on documents. Their title pack gives you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate and an official certificate with a crest. Established Titles is currently having a really big sale just for you, my subscribers. You can get an additional 10% off any purchase you make with the discount code TheQuartering. So click the link below, go to establishedtitles.com/TheQuartering and use promo code TheQuartering to save an extra 10% today. Twitter workers freaking out over Elon Musk and internal Slack messages. This is via the New York Post. Leaked internal communications by Twitter employees reveal woke employees are overtaken by despair and anger over Elon Musk's month-long effort to acquire Twitter. Musk announced he would purchase the company for $44 billion on Monday. The deal concludes a month-long saga that began with Musk first tweeting out polls and his thoughts about the decline of free speech on Twitter. On the business communication platform Slack, some Twitter employees vented against the new owner. Leaked messages reveal, quote, physically cringy watching Elon talk about free speech. A site reliability engineer who identifies as non-binary and trans and plural person wrote. We're going to go through the 5 stages of grief and cycles, and everyone's nerves are frazzled, wrote a senior staff software engineer who called Musk an a-hole and tried to console his colleagues. We're all spinning our wheels. We're coming up with worst case scenarios. Trump returns. No more moderation. The fact is that Musk has not talked about what he's planning on doing in any detail outside of broad sweeping statements that could easily be seen as hyperbolic showboating. Isn't that funny? To the Twitter staff, to some Twitter staff, the worst thing that Elon Musk could do, the absolute worst thing Elon could do would be to reinstate Donald Trump. That really makes you think he got a fair shake, doesn't it? It continues. A senior staff video engineer announced he would be quitting. Not the place to say it perhaps, but I will not work for this company after the takeover. Hey, entirely they're right. You know? Following the back and forth among multiple employees angry about the news, some warned that their communication on Slack could be searched. The employees then moved their conversation onto personal devices using encrypted chat application Signal. Twitter's leadership appeared to predict an internal backlash and possible sabotage when it locked down their ability of its employees to make changes to the platform, though, through Friday. Leading up to Monday's deal, Twitter employees had already been venting for weeks on Slack about Musk and defending the platform's moderation enforcement. A reliability engineer said Musk's views on free speech cover for, I don't want to be held accountable for for amplifying hateful things, harmful things. Another engineer wrote that self-reported censorship is sometimes just as horrible people effing around and then finding out. A senior content strategist responded, and it doesn't happen nearly enough. A senior content strategist who worked as a left-wing political operative outside of Twitter led many of the conservatives that we could, led many of the conversations that were heavily critical of Musk. Sometimes I think it can't be as bad as I'm imagining it is. Then I see something like this and I'm all like, nope, it'll be worse, she wrote, responding to Musk's last tweet. Not all employees are keeping their views within business chats, though. Some of the strongest comments against Musk were made publicly on employees' personal Twitter accounts. The problem with Elon Musk is he has demonstrated a pattern of harmful behavior consistently that disproportionately impacts marginalized people. Evidence, please. Evidence, please. They have no evidence. So, spoiler alert, no evidence. Connor Campbell, a non-binary front-end engineer, responded directly to Musk Tuesday, defending Twitter's censorship of the post for its reporting on Joe Biden's son's computer shortly before the 2020 election. Twitter had a policy about hacked documents that we applied equally, Campbell claimed. The contents of the laptop were not hacked. The Washington Post and the Times both acknowledged former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey said it was, quote, a total mistake at a congressional hearing last year. Laura Gomez, who used to lead localization for Twitter, tweeted, a Musk-owned Twitter is one of the greatest threats to the 2020 and 2024 elections. We're effed if this happens. So you think that that Twitter has an impact on the election? Is that what you're saying? Separately on Slack, multiple Twitter employees disparaged this journalist repeatedly for posting screenshots of their colleagues' publicly available tweets. They discussed the ways that they thought his tweets could be a violation of Twitter's policies. How is Andy No a-hole verified as senior staff software engineer? Multiple employees used insults to refer to the journalist before conceding that the tweets did not violate the rules. Seems like they only care about marginalized communities when they have the same political beliefs as them, huh? Is that interesting? I don't know much about him. I don't really care. I would just love free speech to be the highest priority. I don't care who leads that, especially for minorities like myself. Though some of the internal Slack comments were personally critical of Musk and his views, a few employees weren't as outraged. I don't care much about him. I don't really care. I just love free speech. I absolutely love that. Another engineer wrote, I do think it's obvious that our policies are biased. Then, Twitter protecting its source code from disgruntled employees, report says. Twitter locked down its source code to prevent unauthorized changes. Sources familiar with the matter told Bloomberg. The reports say that the change was made to prevent employees from going rogue and sabotaging the platform after Elon Musk's $44 billion purchase of the company. Currently, a vice president must approve any and all changes. Twitter declined to comment on the matter. After it was publicly announced it would accept Musk's offer to buy the publicly traded platform, it was immediately clear to Twitter's 7,000 employees how their day-to-day would change. Even after the company's all hands, where CEO Paraj Agrawal reassured the team that there were no layoffs, quote, planned at this time, employees were still left with questions about how they would fare in Musk's takeover. Oh, there's going to be plenty of layoffs. This, I assure you. Elon's going to run a tight ship. He's going to make sure that, this left-wing bias is out. And it's going to be really interesting. I saw 2,000 new Twitter followers today. It's crazy how many people are coming back to Twitter. I normally gain 50 followers a day, unless I explicitly say, hey, if you don't have a Twitter account, I would love to have your support. Or if you do have a Twitter account, please follow me at the Quartering. If 1% of the people watching this video did that, it would be amazing. We would pass 200,000 followers on Twitter, which is incredible. And hopefully after Elon kind of gets rid of the shadow banning, it would be awesome if I was actually reaching all of them. That's the biggest thing with shadow banning, is that you're not able to reach the people that have voluntarily opted into your content. It's the same problem on YouTube. I would absolutely love if 1.14 million people or 1.12 million people who are actually subscribed to my content saw my videos, but it's about 100,000. It's about 100 to 150,000, sometimes the rare 200,000. That's why I'm always harping on people to subscribe, because my videos don't show up in search. This on Time Magazine, Twitter locks down all product changes after accepting the offer. Now, it would be interesting to see, it's going to be interesting to see how deep, the rabbit hole goes, we're not going to actually see anything until the deal is done. And I would suspect by the time the deal is done, most of the shenanigans, so to speak, will probably be swept under the rug. Most of the most egregious employees will probably have fled the company, but I'm here for it nonetheless. We're talking about it in my Gilded server, by the way. It's a free speech alternative to the SJW run Discord. There's over 7,000 members. It's obviously totally free. It's not an advertisement. It's just, this is where my community chats. So if you want to be in, various chat rooms, look for people who you want to game with. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment to join my Gilded. Also, don't forget to join my mail list at thequartering.com, upper right-hand corner. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.